All right, so just so you know, I am recording notes, so I'm recording the notes. So,
Can you hear us?
yep.
Yo.
So, I have several students who are absent, so I'm recording notes to send home, so yes, I should let you know that so you know. So, well, I mean, you can, but it's recorded, so. All right, so we're learning about how to work with function notation. Thanks, ladies. We just started and we're just on page 27.
What page are we going to work on?
We're doing notes. If we get to the point where we were. Okay. Yeah. Unless she can give you notes on 27 and 28. Ask for that. Don't be sorry. All right, so functions, when written as equations, are commonly designated by a letter. So you've been seeing that we've been just doing like domain and range and deciding if something is a function, but now we are learning how to write with the notation. It's called function notation. And so there's a lot of reading in this. I'm going to just try to highlight some things and what they mean. So the notation f parentheses x is really what we're looking at today. And what it means is not f times x, but it represents the output produced by the rule when x is the input. So when you see this, from now on, what you're going to hear me say is not f parentheses x. You're going to hear me say f of x. F of x. And all it means is this is going to be the output of f when we put in a value for x. Please be really, really careful that when you see this statement, f parentheses x, that you're saying f of x. Okay, or if it's a g of x. All right, so I'm going to just abbreviate the advantages of function notation. At first today, it might be a little bit confusing, and you might think, well, why do we have to write things this way if it means something else? Because eventually, it's going to make it shorter and easier to write things in function notation. Instead of writing out a whole sentence, we're going to just write a symbol and a letter, and then you're going to know what to do. So, other reasons. Normally we have like y equals mx plus b. Remember hearing about that last year? Yeah, slope-intercept form. We can pick, in function notation, we can pick letters that go with what we're trying to find. Like if I'm trying to find area, I may pick A. Okay, if I'm trying to find perimeter, maybe what letter would I pick? P for perimeter or V for volume. So I can pick letters and then they are going to be what represent what I'm trying to find. So maybe you can keep things straight a little bit better. But I think number 3 is probably the most important one because it's going to be quicker. Today you're going to just see that I write this, f of 2. Hopefully when we leave class today, you know what I want you to do when you see that. All right, let's look up here. What was it up here? It was f of what? X. So f of 2, all that means is when a function is something, we're going to take out the x and we're going to put the 2 in its spot. So let's do it. F of 2. So I'm going to look here. This is an x. What's going on with x? It's multiplied by 3. Anyone want to tell me what they think f of 2 means to do? Okay, so I'm going to just rewrite this. F, instead of an x, I'm going to write f of 2 equals 3. What should I put in place of x? Is that what this says?
No.
2. What is 3 times 2?
6.
All right, h of 3 equals 8. So what we're going to talk about now is how this translates to ordered pairs. So far in math, you've learned that we have an x coordinate, right, and a y coordinate. So when we're doing function notation, instead, the x is still first, okay, and the f of x just took the place of y. So y equals f of x. They mean the same thing. Y equals f of x. So where do we find the x? We find the x inside that parentheses. For instance, h of 3 equals 8. Can somebody tell me what's the x and what's the y? Yeah, remember we said what was in here was h of x, right? So the 3 is the x, and then the y would be the 8. All right, so if you want to kind of write like a chart for what to do, the x is going to go there, and the y you're going to always find out here. It's going to be the output. All right, so somebody tell me if f of negative 9 equals 4.7.
Negative 9 is the x, 4.7 is the y. Ooh. I know, right?
Negative 9 is the x, 4.7 is the y. All right, over here. Because I'm trying to get you guys to realize, like, it's not necessarily the things that's in there, it's what spot it's in. So Candy's inside the parentheses, outside is happy face. What would be the x in this statement? Grounded, and then sad. Okay. Okay, over here. So what if I wrote the ordered pair? Can somebody write an f of x statement for me then? F of something equals something. She said f of 16 equals 2/3. All right. I think it's going to be real interesting when a parent listens to this video and the amount of distraction that happens in this hour, because you guys have no idea. Right now there's people sitting in another classroom because they can't handle being in here because it's so distracting. You guys got to figure out a way. Some of you have figured out a way, but some others of you got to figure it out, because that's just not how you act. It would be f of good grades equals thumbs up. You don't have to write that one down, but f of x equals y. All right, if you are told that the area of a circle, area of a circle, I know you've done this before, can be represented by the function a of r equals pi r squared. Area of a circle. Probably done this before. All right. Here's what the nice thing is about this statement. There's a lot of symbols in there, aren't there? What's in the parentheses? automatically that tells you that's what you're putting in. You're going to put something in for r. All right. I want to know what is the area of the circle with radius 10. The way I would write that in function notation is instead of a of r, I want to know what's a of 10. And the way I would do that is I would rewrite this statement, pi r squared, but I would write pi times what? Who's going to say no? 10 squared. Who's the kid? Knock it off. It's not funny. I'm not looking at you. I'm just, I know where it's coming from. It needs to stop. All right, 100 pi. All right. So what I'm going to do is, I think you're understanding what goes into the parentheses, that it's a specific x value. So this upper part is just explaining what we're doing. We're going to just go right to the bottom half of these. Okay. So let's look at the bottom. So if I told you, would you find g of 4 when g of m equals m plus 7? What does that mean to do? Well, let's rewrite it. So what I have is the variable is m, and I'm saying g of m is m plus 7. Can you rewrite that statement with g of 4? What do you think g of 4 means to do? Ashton? Does that say multiply though? Okay, so instead of m plus 7, we're going to write 4 plus 7. What is 4 plus 7? 11. Ayla, ask a question.
It makes sense, that's yes and no. But like, why don't they just put n 4? Why do they gotta do g is 4 and then g is okay, that's
So what I'm going to be asking for, I'm just trying to get you guys used to to know what to do when you see that, okay? Because this is something new for you. Yeah. So that's all we're doing right now. We can do, and we'll do more practice when we get to the bottom of the page. All right, so I'm going to go to the bottom again. I want you guys to find for me what's f of negative 2 if f of x is 3x. How would you find f of negative 2? Somebody tell me. Yeah, if I wanted to go even in the exact order, 3 times negative 2. What is that output? Negative 6. Okay. So, let's go and just kind of put this together. We're going to just write equations in function notation. So, for this one, instead of y, I'm going to write f of x. So f of x just takes the place of y equals 3x minus 2. That's all you got to write. It's just a different way of writing functions. Instead of y, it's we call it f of x notation is what I call it. Mason?
I tried to do that, guys, but like, when are we gonna use it?
So from now on, Mason, when you will see me, instead of writing things the old way, you're going to see me write it this way.
Well,
so do you need to know how to do that for your job? No.
Then why are we learning? I'm not trying to do that.
I'll send this video to your mom.
Can you send me?
No.
All right, 4 pi r squared. I'll let her answer that question for you. So a of r equals 4 pi r squared. So, in other words, I'm just basically saying the area of radius r. The ordered pair for this would be x, comma, f of x. The ordered pair for number 2 would be r, comma, a of r. Okay,